Welcome to the Be Stellar podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing great, Alex. How are you?
Fantastic, man. Never been better.
Good. I'm David Wyatt. This is
Alexander Ostojic, and we're gonna talk about how to win today. So, winning, right?
yep.
Winning is one of those things that a lot of people, you turn on the news, everything's negative, right? And that's what people put in their head, and they just go around the, whole day
Mm-hmm.
and just being completely negative and disappointed and depressed and all that stuff. But it's very, very important to concentrate your energy onto some other things like winning. Even small wins count. They pile on top of one another. And then at the end of the day, if you had a couple of small wins throughout the day, you're going to finish your day strong. What do you think?
100%. Winning doesn't mean there's never losing.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you're never going to experience some sort of defeat. Winners take losses and turn them into lessons. They say, what did I do wrong? How did I lose in this situation? How do I win next time? Losers take a loss and they never recover from it. So they lost, well, I'll never win again.
Okay.
There's a lot of great athletes out there that have won and won and won and won, but then when they lose, they never come back from it.
Dude, okay, so Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, right? Remember, she was crushing the UFC.
Right.
She was like one of the first females. And I had a lot of respect for her, man. I
Mhm.
mean, I think every guy out there was like, she's beautiful, she's good looking, right? She's an athlete, she's kicking ass.
Yeah.
She's like the UFC champion, all this stuff. And then Holly Holm comes around and just rocks her world.
Mm-hmm.
Where did she go? She disappeared. She came back a couple more, lost two more times, and that was it. And I was actually listening to her interview, and she said after she lost that she thought about killing herself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're the most famous fighter in the world. Like, why would you kill yourself?
Because they don't know how to experience defeat.
That's so
It's
crazy.
important, as much as it is important to win, it's important to lose. And I say that because, like, if you don't know how to recover from a loss, regardless of what the loss is, whether it be, a family member loss, a financial loss, whether you play sports, no matter what age you are, you have to know how to lose in order to know how to win. And I think when you lose, the wins they're a greater experience.
They
You know what I
really-
mean? Because you've
yeah.
tasted defeat.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
You appreciate it more because you realize that you're not going to win every time.
Mhm.
But just because you lost sometimes doesn't mean you can't recover and go out there and win anyways, right?
Mhm.
So the reason we picked this episode today is this is the one of the last episodes. Is just me and David, right? Starting next week, we're gonna start bringing other entrepreneurs. We got a couple of people that volunteered want to come on the podcast, and we're gonna have them share their stories of winning as
Pick
well.
their brains a little bit.
Yeah, pick their brains. We want to give you guys variety of experiences out there, so that way, maybe you're not a construction worker or a former Marine. Maybe you are a guy that I don't know does any other type of business.
Mhm.
Maybe you're in people consultation business. Maybe you're a
Yeah.
psychiatrist. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, what was your start? What made you decide how to do that? What made you decide to win in that field?
Real estate.
Real estate. Yeah, real estate
Yeah.
is a big one. Those real estate guys are very tough, man, to break.
They're stubborn. I love all of them.
Yeah.
But they're stubborn, and a lot of them are great winners when it comes to that stuff. But they've experienced some stuff. I mean, I know my brother-in-law does real estate, and we talk, and he tells, man, he'll tell me stories and stuff, and hopefully we'll get him on the podcast, so I'll let him tell those stories. But because he has a great one, but as far as like winning goes, like winning takes practice. There's not a lot of great natural, like just natural talent out there that they never have to practice. You take like Michael Jordan, and I'll probably get this a little wrong, forgive me if I do, but like, he didn't make his basketball team in high school.
Yeah, like a sophomore year or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then he became the greatest basketball player of all time.
By far, LeBron James don't even compare.
Well, I mean, they are different eras. Like,
don't matter.
I don't even talk about that whole situation. But,
I just
know-
want to piss people off that don't like LeBron James. They like LeBron James.
But and like Tom Brady, he was backup quarterback in Michigan, and then he was drafted in the 6th round, and he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I'll say that. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm sorry
sure
if I
he is.
upset you.
Doesn't he have like
But-
what 6 Super Bowl rings or something?
Seven.
Like that? 7.
Been to
I
10
don't know anything about.
Been to 10 Super Bowls,
Man,
won 7 of them.
wow, that's crazy.
You know, so like as far as, and I'm not talking, I don't care what kind of sports you like or whatever. We're talking about winners. And so that's what we're getting at. You can have your own opinions of whoever. We're talking about winners. You know, but imagine that, like being drafted low, regardless of what sport, but then becoming the greatest at it. You know, I was talking to my daughter last night. She plays volleyball, and she's really upset because she's, and I go to all of her volleyball games because I want to be a dad that's active in my daughter's life. So I don't want them to look up in the stands and they don't see their parents, But she, at the first of the year, she got COVID, right? And so she was out for a week, so she missed like a week's worth of practices. Well, that's caused her now to have to sit on the bench during games. Even though she's better than some of the girls out there. She really is, and I'm not down in those girls. She is better than, she's not the best on the team. We talked about this last night. I told her who was the best girl on the team. I told her where all the girls were improving and where some of them were getting worse because I've watched it. But also I've watched my daughter practice every day and get better and better and better. And she's like, Dad, I don't understand like why I'm on the bench. She said, I think it's because I missed that first week. She said she said yesterday at practice, she said she hit 25 out of 30 serves over the net. She said one of the girls that placed hit 2 out of 10. And she's getting to play. And I told her, she's in 7th grade. I said, Hayden, I said, quit focusing on 7th grade volleyball anymore. I said, it's our last week. I said, finish out strong. Be a team player. So I said, so even if you're on the bench, I said, you be a team player. You cheer for your team. Put your feelings away. You're on a team. When you go in, you play absolutely the best that you can play. Make sure you don't miss any balls. Show them that you're a great volleyball player. I said, but then this year, between volleyball seasons, between 7th and 8th grade, I said, we're going to work on it. And so that way next year you come back and you absolutely crush it, and they cannot refuse you to play because you're going to be the best player on the team.
Yeah, so you can win. So sometimes when people, not picked first, or when they experience some losses in their life or something like that, what they do is that actually makes you focus on the bad areas of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very powerful because you're focusing all your energy in something that you're bad at.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, you will come on top.
Yeah.
There's no other choice. You
Mhm.
will win at the end, right? So that's why it's very important. Can now imagine if you're just like playing consistently and you're always winning. You always think you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. You never lose. You're the best, and you're like, ain't nobody out there, right? And then before you know it, like if you're a fighter or something like that, somebody comes and just rocks your world, man.
Like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I'm not really following UFC, but I heard about that, right?
Yeah.
He broke his leg or something, right?
Well, he lost
Yeah.
to, I don't remember his name. He's the Russian cat.
Oh, yeah, the
Uh,
guy that said that was, I know. The guy
and that
with
guy's
the
really
ears.
humble too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he beat Conor,
Yeah.
and Conor, I don't think he's won since then.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
sometimes
He doesn't need to win. He won $100 million
Yeah.
just for fighting Floyd Mayweather.
I mean,
If you were going to pay me $100 million to lose, I'd probably do it once.
I'll go get knocked out with Mike
Yeah,
Tyson. Or
anybody.
somebody. Yeah.
That's a fair offer. If you have $100
Pick a-
million and you want to punch me in the face, let's do it.
Pick a place. You want to break my jaw? It's all right. It'll heal up.
It'll heal. We'll be
Yeah.
fine. That's life-changing money,
Of course, man. But also, yeah, like I was saying, man, you got to experience those losses because they really make you concentrate on the specific area where you're lacking.
But you have to look at that, going back to talking about mindset. You have to look at that loss and say, okay, what did I do wrong? What am I doing? Not, oh, I can't believe they did this to me. I can't. It's your fault. It's your coach's fault. It's your parents' fault. It's your spouse's fault. It's your kid's fault. No, you have to look at you and say, what can I improve? There's a lot of people out there that have went through divorce and realized afterwards, wow, I was a terrible person while I was married.
Yeah.
I was a bad person. No wonder you divorced me. and they know they can't take it back and be a better person, but they go back and they apologize. Hey, listen, spouse, ex-spouse, I'm sorry that I treated you like that.
But that's why usually people end up with their second married partner
Mm-hmm.
for life, not the first.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the United States, I think divorce rate is like 60% or something like that.
Yeah,
The
it's
first
crazy.
marriage it's pretty high. But yeah, sometimes you got to look deep down and realize, hey, what did I mess up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did I go wrong? What do I need to work on?
I
And
think
if
that's
you-
a mindset of a winner.
Yes, and if you're willing to improve, you're
Mhm.
going to come and win every time.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what it is. If it's being a parent, being a husband, if it's in business, whatever it is.
Well, I think if you can take away from a loss, you win anyway.
Yes, yeah, no, that's
You may not
powerful.
win in that little battle that you were in,
Yes,
but in the grand scheme, if you've improved yourself, then you won because you've improved yourself. Because you have to understand that in life, it's not you versus everybody else. It's you versus you
yes,
every day. So either you win against you or you lose, but even in the losses, there are wins. It's all about how you look at it.
yes.
It's all about your perception of your goals. Like, so did that loss deter you from your goal? Or did that loss drive you to say, no, now I'm definitely going to make this happen because no one's going to stop me? You know, I can't
I love
wait to
that.
show everybody. You know, what were you telling me about? We're talking about solar, and you were talking about you had a Marine that you were with, and he was kind of, you know,
Not very good
not,
financially.
not very good
Yeah.
financially, and now he's killing it.
No, he's killing. He's making. I had this Marine. A lot of people didn't like him. I mean, he was not a very good Marine. I'll just put it in those terms. But I don't know. I was always kind of okay with him. You know,
Mhm.
I just told him like, look, man, stay low. Like, just wait till you get processed out. And now he's out there like crushing it, man, making like few $100,000 a year. And all of those guys that spent like 25 years in the Marine Corps, the guys that fell into the system, into the matrix that Andrew Tate calls it, right? They told him he wasn't going to become anything. He's nobody. He's going to get out and be a loser. Kid's living in like $1 million house, driving nice cars, all this stuff. He's just crushing it.
Hmm.
And what are those guys doing? They retire with the Marine Corps pension, which
Mhm.
barely gets you by, right? So
Yeah.
what happened with him? He didn't take those negative comments and just said, whatever, I'm going to be a loser. Got out and went on the street and became a bum.
Hmm.
He took that as a driving force for him to become successful, and he's doing really well right now. So
Mhm.
I talked to him I was actually going to bring him on the podcast, and we might. But kid's crushing it right now, man. I was very happy to see him do well. And he's
Yeah.
only like 22.
Yeah.
He's only like 22. Bro.
That's great.
I told him, dude, you keep going. By the time you're my age, you're gonna be, taking on the world, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So,
But he has to also learn to deal with loss. If all that money stops coming in and all of a sudden he stops selling for a month, just you got to know, you got to keep pushing.
yeah,
you
he's
know.
doing really well. I made sure I talked to him about where to put his money, and
Hmm.
we're gonna sit down for an appointment. I'm gonna educate him a little bit on financial services.
Good.
And we're gonna see if we can redirect some of that money and make it work in his favor
Yeah.
instead of him just spending it and paying interest on things.
Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah. Make sure as a society, we're always like fed all this stuff, have all these nice things, and what do? You go get an expensive car, you pay 5.5% interest. You go buy a big house, you pay, I don't know, 5% interest, 4% interest. But not a lot of us really know how to invest money and have money make you money. That's where
Yeah.
rich and
Well, we
poor
don't want to.
differentiate.
You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
we want to spend money on tangible things,
Yeah.
on things that we can touch, things that we can see. That, like, I know I spent my money on new rims because I could see them every day.
Yes.
When the old rims were fine, they were around and the tire fit on them, and
And it
your
still
car
got
went
you
down the
for
road.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you had to have new rims because you want other people to see you.
Yeah, well,
You know.
it's very important to understand that the things that you don't see will do better for you at the end. So that kid, he starts redirecting some of that money into the right place. At the end, he's going to win.
Hmm.
He's going to come on top. And that's where rich and poor kind of differentiate, go down two different roads, right? The poor is like, now. I want everything now. I want to see it. And the rich is like, no, I want to put it away and I want to see it 20 years from now.
Yeah.
That's the difference,
Like, it's not even like it doesn't even exist. Like, it's like just buying something or paying a bill. You know what I mean? That's what you have to focus your money on is, okay, how do I get from here to here? Oh, it's going to take 10 years. It's going to take 20 years for me to see that the maturity of my investment, versus like, you see a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff, like people won't realize like how much time those people put into those videos. And it's just like seeing like one athlete and one person that's mentioned over and over again. That's literally one person. There's 350 million people in the United States, and most of them are poor.
Yeah, well, I think what 95% or something like
I don't
that.
know the actual like statistic, but I know that none of it's very low percentage of people that are actually successfully rich
Yeah,
when you take comparative to the rest of the United States.
yeah,
And so, you know, those people, if you listen to their stories, and we mention them a lot on here, the successful and the winners, they went through a whole bunch of losses when they started. You know what I mean? I'm going
yes.
through losses right now.
Oh, we all are.
And I'm having to push through the losses and say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to allow this to continue to break me. Me and you talked about this yesterday. I'm having a pretty decent week. And I told you, I said, man, I'm just like, there's been a couple of times in the last couple of months that like my spirit's been broken. You know what I mean? And I've had to pick myself up and say, no, I refuse to be defeated. But man, I've told you this. There are moments like I woke up in the morning and I went and sat down at my dining room table and was drinking my cup of coffee and literally just broke down in tears. Just looking at different situations that I have going on in my life. I just started crying because I didn't know how to fix it. But I do know that I have to get up and go to work every day. I know that sitting there crying at the table isn't going to fix it. But I just had all of this like negative energy inside and I had to get it out. When I was younger, I would punch walls straight up, like I would, just
It's a lot of testosterone
well,
talking
just a
too.
lot when I was
Yeah.
younger. I mean, if I got mad, it was just literally I'd just turn and just punch a wall or punch something. I dented some lockers,
Gutter. I
dented some
took down the
lockers in high
gutter from
school.
my parents' house.
Yeah,
Like I walked by the gutter and I hit it with my hand, and it just broke in half and it fell out.
yeah.
My dad's like, "Who broke the gutter?" I was like, "I did." "Why'd you break the freaking gutter?" I was like,
It's
"I
better
was
than your
mad."
face.
You know how many phones I broke?
Oh, so I've never thrown a phone down.
Bro, I thrown probably 10 phones, 10, 15 phones. Now imagine that. Imagine like back in the day, the little sidekicks,
Yeah,
like 2005, or
yeah,
the little sidekick came out with a little screen and a nice little board under it.
yeah,
Man, I bought it. It was like $600. Back then, dude, $600 was more than like $1,500 today.
right.
And I came home and I couldn't figure it out. And instead of learning patiently, right, I just whip it across the yard against the wall and just million pieces, man. My dad's like, "You're an idiot." And at that time, I'm like, and now I see it. And I'm like, yeah, I was an idiot. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of all the times that I probably should have broke my hand.
Yeah.
Because I've not been in a lot of fights with people. I've always like stayed out of fights. But like if I was mad or frustrated, literally I'll just punch the wall or punch something because I had to get it out. Now, like I let it build, and then it's literally in the mornings because I kind of take a little bit of time in the morning by myself I read or watch the news, or drink some coffee, or think about what I'm gonna do that day, and I'll wake up and think about like some of the situations that I'm in. Some of them because of myself. Some of them were caused by other people that quit or something happened, and now I've got to take their responsibility. And I'll just sit there sometimes and I can't help it. Like for like 15, 20 seconds, I'll just cry a little bit. And I'm man enough to admit that. Like you have to release that frustration. Like everyone's going to get frustrated and stressed out. You have to have a positive way to release that. Because if you don't, you'll release it on people that you shouldn't be releasing it on. Or you'll find some sort of device. Some people smoke, some people drink, some people eat,
Dip.
some people dip, some people
Yeah.
sleep. Some people take it out on their family. You have to find a positive way. And crying's. If I don't know when the last time you cried. Crying feels good when you're done. Straight up, dude. I'm not gonna lie, it does. Like it just feels like a whole lot of like. It just releases a whole bunch. It's like scientific that way.
Yeah. I have no idea when I cried, man. It was been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Very, very long time. I just deal with everything. I'm like, screw it. You're a man. This is what I used to tell my Marines. And this is not really like the nicest way to say it on the podcast, right? But I used to tell my Marines like this: "You're a man, right?" Like, "Yeah, I'm a man." Okay, grab yourself by your
Stuff.
stuff, right? Do you feel anything down there, or you see two holes where they used to be? Oh, I feel it. So you're a man then, right? Get the hell over it. That's what I
Yeah.
used to tell Marines, right? And I lived like that for a very long time.
You have to deal with it though.
You gotta confront it somehow, man. And I believe like if you, that's why today's episode was winning, because all of those bad, if you just stack up small wins on top of one another, man, makes your day better, makes you feel better. I told you, man, about 2.5 months ago, I woke up and I was like, I feel grounded. So after 2.5 years of consistently losing, shutting down different businesses, trying to grow my business, people quitting on me, doing all kinds of different things, I had no idea what was going on, man. And then I had a huge loss back in like May. We're not going to talk about it on the podcast. But then like a month later after that, I was like, okay, I've been through everything that I could possibly be through, right? Everything.
And you made it out.
And I made it out. You know, I still survived. I'm still here, right? And then after that, I started stacking on small wins, right? One on top of another, right? And I started working more. And I actually saw myself. I see the end. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? I'm like, you know what? This is going to work. My book will get published. The podcast will take off. Both businesses will get up off the ground, right? Everything that I'm working on right now, yeah, I'm putting in 16, 18 hours a day, but I'm telling you right now, I'm so full of energy, man. I don't even feel tired.
Oh, you have purpose.
Dude, last 2 weeks, I woke up every day before the alarm.
Yeah.
Every day. And I set my alarm clock depending. Last couple of weeks, I didn't go to a gym. Week and a half, I broke my finger, so I can't lift weights. So I've been kind of like sleeping in, but I've been working late. You know, like last night I was doing homework. I turned my homework assignment for my master's degree at 12:30 in the morning.
Right on.
And I set my alarm clock for 7 o'clock. I was like, okay, 6.5 hours. Dude, I woke up 5:45. Right on the dot, 5:45. That's usually when I get up between 5 and 6. 5:45, I was up. And I was like, all right, went downstairs, made some coffee, ate a banana, you know, something healthy for the day. Went upstairs, took a shower, put on a suit, boom, let's film the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and now all these little wins are stacking up, man, and it makes me want to win more. And it's so amazing to watch. Like I try to like step out of myself and kind of like observe myself. And dude, it's just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Like from all that stuff, all the businesses shutting down, all that crap, moving across the country. Dude, the last 10 years, man, of my life, I was in the Marines. We moved 2 different countries, 3 different states, 2 different continents, right? Moving all over the place, businesses shutting down, COVID, restrictions, all this stuff. Now I finally see it. And I realize now that all that had to happen, and I had to make it through all that to appreciate what's happening in my life right now.
Absolutely.
It's so beautiful to
Yeah.
watch, man. I just love it.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great that you didn't play victim to the situations in your life, because there's so many people out there. You know, Eric Thomas said this in a different way, that, you know, they're 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, that they blame everything on like their parents. But you're grown now. You have a life full of opportunity.
Change it.
Change it. But you have to change the way you think. You can't think, well, I can't do anything because my mama said this or my daddy said that. You have to say, no, I'm myself. I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. And I'm going to win every day. Even in my losses, I'm going to win. Because we don't, there are people out there now, it's more of a, like I said earlier, like they say, I don't take losses, I take lessons.
Yes. That's so powerful, dude.
It is. It really is. Because if you just start looking at, okay, what did I do wrong and how do I fix it versus, man, I just, however you say it, I just lost. I'm not doing it ever again. And then you just never even try.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything good.
No. Don't quit on your dreams. Don't quit because you lost once.
Well, people don't dream. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't dream anymore.
Well, our society kind of pushes away from dreaming.
Man, there's so much negative stuff out there. And this is the
Gosh.
crazy thing, right? All these people that follow the system. Hey, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to go do all this stuff. 65% of Americans cannot cover a $500 emergency right now.
Yeah.
65%. That means the 10 people you see on the street, 7 out of 10 can cover a $500 unexpected emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So we come around. What do? What's our number one business? We offer opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, there's a business opportunity.
Be
Great way to
self-motivated
help
though.
people. You gotta be self-motivated, right? Oh man, I want a paycheck, right? Or, oh, I need to have steady $23 an hour. And then they will take the dumbest thing and concentrate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like misspelling of a word. So it doesn't matter what the sentence said, right? It can be the most powerful sentence you ever put in your life
Yeah.
out there somewhere or told somebody. It can be very powerful if you just sit back and you listen to it. But
Mhm.
no, they will take the dumbest thing,
Well, because they're
like
looking.
an extra letter in a word,
Yeah.
and that's what they're going to beat on,
Right.
to talk themselves out of the opportunity
Yeah.
because they're scared.
Yeah. Well, because
That's just crazy.
I was
to me,
talking
man.
to a, I was talking to a lady yesterday, super nice lady. We were talking about business, right?
Mhm.
And I told her like I 100% understand needing to work, needing to pay your bills.
Yeah.
I know about needing money on Friday. You know, I've had my electricity shut off before. You know what I mean? I've had like bills, or I've had to call them and say, "Hey, listen, I can't pay that this week, or I
Yeah.
can't pay that this month." I've been there. I know. You know, and so I've cried whenever I've got a bunch of money before. You know
You
what I
cry
mean?
too much. Dude.
Maybe I do, but I feel good. You know, but like but it's just like watching people who have been losing and then they win, they can't help it. It's just an overcome of emotion. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because like you don't know what to do. You literally have just been losing and losing and losing, and all of a sudden you get that win, and it's just like it's not over. Like I got to win. Like it's not over. Like I'm not dead. Like I'm not dead in the water. You know what I was telling her though? It was like, hey, listen, don't quit on your dreams, regardless of whether you choose to come into business with me. Like, don't quit on your dreams. Like, go if you want to have your own business, regardless of what it is. Go get a job where you can take care of your bills, but start something and just start working on it. Hour a week if you have to, hour a day. And then you'll turn it into 2, and then you'll turn it into 3. I said, and then all of a sudden it will take over your current job. I said, but don't quit on it. Don't just go get an hourly job and just because you can pay your bills, put away your dreams. Like if you want to be successful, listen, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're not going to start out with $1 million in your bank account
It's a rough road.
most
man.
of the time.
It's a very tough road.
You're going to have struggles. You're going to have times where you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get the money to move into the next step. But if you don't quit, it will come. Like just keep pushing and just go for the win. Push for the win. Even in loss, like listen, until you're dead, the game's not over.
Yep.
You just might be in the first half. You know, and I think about there's a Super Bowl, I don't know how long ago. It was Tom Brady playing the Falcons. I say Tom Brady. I don't remember. I think he played for the Patriots at the time. Yeah, my God. I feel old sometimes. I can't remember. Like, anyways, he was losing at halftime. It was like 28-3. Everyone's like, it's over. I left. I was at my mom's house and I left because I was like, they're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, and I get home, and in like the last quarter, they come back and win. I missed like the greatest comeback of all time because I
Yeah.
counted them out.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they lost,
Yeah.
and I missed it. You're gonna miss the greatest comeback in your life because you just wrote yourself off in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. The game
Dude,
of
that's-
life isn't over until you're dead.
Dude, that's powerful, man. And most people don't even, they don't want to try. And this is the thing, man. If you're working 40 hours a week and you're barely making your bills,
Mm-hmm.
you go work some overtime. You're going to get a little bit of extra money, right? And what are you going to do with that money? You're probably going to spend it on something you don't need,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you were able to survive on 40 hours a week, keep doing that and struggle a little bit longer. It'll teach you a few things. It'll teach you how to manage your money. It'll teach you how not to overspend, right? All this stuff. But on the side, get yourself in some type of mindset. Start hanging out with people that they're in a better financial position than you. They think differently than you do, okay? Because obviously what you're doing is not working, right? And then start something on the side. So instead of working 20 extra hours a week for your boss, right? I recommend to everybody to start something on the side. Okay, so struggle a little bit financially, okay? Learn few things out of that struggle, and slowly build something for yourself on the side. It can be woodworking. It can be extra some type of business, whatever. You can
Mowing
sell
yards on the
T-shirts.
weekend.
Yeah, mowing yards, something with that's yours. You're gonna take so much more pride in doing things when they're yours. You're doing them for yourself. You're growing your own business. You're building something for your family. Like I want my family to win. My end goal is my family to win, to be on top, to be top 5%, top 1%. The bottom is too crowded. Okay, so if you want to be on top, you have to stack up those wins, man, and you have to do something different than nobody else is doing. Think about last 10 people you talk to this week. Let's say 10 people that you talk to every week. What is their financial situation? What is their marriage like? Are they a good father, mother, right? Who are they? Are they even worth, like, where do you want to be? Do you want to stay around in your comfortable circle? Or do you want to go out there and win and make yourself better, right? Just step out of the circle you're in. I have a buddy right now, he just came into the financial services business. And last night he failed his exam for the first time.
Oh,
And I talked to him and I was like, hey man, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm all right, man. I'm like, look, bro, I failed that thing 5 times.
yeah,
Like I failed it 5 times. But then when I passed it, dude, you know how great that felt?
yeah.
It felt so great because I worked hard for it. It was such a great feeling. And he does a regular job, for a company. And now he came into business because he wants to start something part-time. He wants to be an independent guy. He doesn't want to depend on anybody anymore. He wants to be in control of his life. And we were just talking, man. Like we had a good conversation for about an hour. And you know what? We took that little loss and turned it into a win. I'm like, what did you learn out of this test? Now you saw what the test looks like, what the questions are like, right? Now you know how to prep better. So next time we're gonna come back, and you guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna freaking win, right? So at the end of the day, man, doesn't matter what happens in your life. Make sure you stack up some wins on top of that.
Right.
If you only have losses and no wins, you're gonna be always depressed. You're gonna feel like nothing's happening, nothing's moving, nothing's gonna work. But if you stack up a few wins in between, man, you're gonna feel better about yourself. You're gonna be more positive, more motivated. You're gonna go out there and freaking crush it, man. And you're just gonna stack those on top of one. It compounds. Wins compound. I love that word.
Yeah.
Compounding. Like they compound on top of one another, and before you know it, one win turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, 4 turns into 8, and before you know, you're just winning constantly, and you're unstoppable.
Well, it's not. You have to take winning that. Understand it's not punishment. It's preparation. It's preparation. You got to prepare. You have to prepare to win.
Yes.
You can't. You're not going to win without preparation.
It don't happen by accident.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody goes into war on a whim. They're prepared.
Dude,
As
Marines
well
know
as they
better
can
than
be.
anybody. You know how much training Marines put into? Like we put more time and effort into training than actual war. Because if you train hard and you prepare hard, the actual arena where you're performing, it's going to be a lot easier.
Well, they say that with any, with any any sport or anything like that. If you practice harder than the game is going to be, then in the game, it's nothing. You're not wore out because you're prepared.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I mean?
easy day.
Right. I was telling my daughter about that last night. A big thing in sports is like ball awareness. Football, volleyball, basketball, you have to know where the ball is at all times. But if you're not practicing for that, then you're where's the ball? What's happening? And all of a sudden it lands right beside you, and it's because you weren't prepared. You have to be prepared. If you're going to win, be prepared. Be prepared for the losses. Be prepared for the wins. Be prepared in between.
And concentrate on the wins, not losses.
Right.
If you only beat yourself up over losses,
Take the good things out of the losses.
Yes.
There's good things in losses.
there's a lot of good things, yeah. But a lot of people, they just concentrate on, oh man, that happened to me. Like at the end of the day, everything's up to you.
Yeah.
Like you can't blame anybody. You can't blame your mom, dad, I used to blame my dad for a long time about a lot of things because it's just man hasn't really done anything for me, right? And when I stopped blaming him for things and I took control of my own life, my life started moving towards the better way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just in a positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now I talk to him, you know, it's not a crazy deep conversation, but I don't hold that grudge anymore of why didn't you teach me this and why didn't, you know, and I'm a grown man. Like
Yeah.
if I don't know something, go learn it.
Yeah. You're in a world of free education.
Dude, it's so easy. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, college is like overrated, man. School is overrated. Like read a few books, Google a few things, man, and you can literally take over the world with a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to school. I'm doing my master's degree right now, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm doing this homework and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like why? You know, it was one of those things I told myself like, hey, you will have a master's degree.
Because you want to win.
Well, yeah.
You
I
set a
mean,
goal, and if you quit,
yes, then I'm a
you-
quitter, right?
Then you quit. Yeah.
But right now, you know, like last night, I work. You know, I got up yesterday at 6 a.m. and I had appointments all day. Watched my kids for a little while. Just had a lot of stuff I was going on, you know. And it was like 10:30 at night. I finished my last appointment and my last phone call.
Mhm.
So think about that, from 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. My wife comes in, she's like, "Hey, babe, you coming to bed?" I'm like, "No, I gotta write this paper." And it took me 2 hours to write a paper, and I'm like, "Why am I even doing this?"
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, there's just another way I can win, right? That paper that I just did, right? That's a small win towards my master's degree.
Mhm.
I told myself, you will have a master's degree. There's no choice, right? There's no choice. So what does it take to get a master's degree? I don't care if I got to turn this paper in at midnight 30, but it's going to be turned in because I'm getting that master's degree, right? And it's just literally up to you.
Yeah,
And-
you have
and
to
the-
make. You have to push. You have to push for the win.
You have to, man. You got to get outside the box
Yep.
that you're in, and you got to go do different things.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Remember to push for the win. Even if you're losing, there is a win in sight. Keep pushing.
Always take wins out of every loss. Learn something from it. Keep pushing forward. We love you guys.
Be
my-
stellar.
Yeah, don't forget to be stellar. Always be stellar, right? Reach for the stars. My name is Alexander Ostoich. This is
David Wyrick, and tune in next week. Hopefully, we have a guest. We have one lined up. Thanks for tuning in.
It's gonna be fun. Let you know.
We have a couple. We're just got to see which one is free.
Yeah.
We've set it up, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, you guys subscribe to our channel, right? We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can always go to my website, alexandrastoich.com. I'm on there too. Our podcast is on there.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for listening to us. We'll tune in soon again.
All right. Be stellar.
Be stellar. Have a good one.